Please subscribe to the channel, as only 11.6% of you are subscribed to the channel. Okay, thank you, goodbye.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, Platinum Bricks 95, and we're back again with another LEGO Marvel review. Firstly, I do just want to, as per usual, give a huge shout out to all of the new subscribers to the channel. Thank you so much for subbing. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're liking and enjoying the content and you stay with me for a very long time. That's what I hope anyway, but thanks for joining the channel. Secondly, again, we're talking about thumbnails just very quickly. I hope this is an okay thumbnail for a review. This is the first time I've done this sort of style of thumbnail for a review. So let me know if it's working for you guys, and if not, I can always go back to the old one. But yeah, just let me know if the thumbnails are working. So without further ado, let's get on to today's video. Now, today's video is, as I stated at the start, a LEGO Marvel review, which is something we haven't done for a little while. It's been like 2 weeks since we reviewed our last LEGO Avengers Age of Ultron set, and today we're doing another LEGO Avengers Age of Ultron set, and that set is LEGO set number 76030 Avengers Hydra Showdown. Now, when this LEGO set released, this was the £20 set from the wave. I'm assuming in America it might have been $20 or $25. I don't know exactly, but it was £20 in the UK. And again, the Age of Ultron line, as I keep saying in all of these reviews, really did play a big part in making me want to collect LEGO Marvel. So again, this is one of my very, very early LEGO Marvel sets. However, just because it is one of the very first LEGO Marvel sets I bought, and one of the very first sets that got me back into collecting LEGO Marvel, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a brilliant set. However, enough of me babbling as per usual. Let's get right into reviewing and looking at this set. And we're going to start with the minifigures. Let's go! Right then, guys, well, here we are taking a look at the minifigures. Now, as you can see, there are only 3 minifigures that do come with this set, which isn't bad for a £20 set, actually. It's probably roughly what you'd expect, to be honest. Now, as you can see, we've got HAWKEYE, THOR, and a Hydra agent. And I think we're going to start with the Hydra agent. All right then, guys. Well, here is the Hydra agent, which is the minifigure in question. Now, straight away, I'm not entirely sure how accurate it is to the movie, but it is, I suppose, a little bit accurate. I do remember them having suits like this when they were being thrown around by THOR. Now, the very cool thing about this minifigure is I actually love the design on his torso. As you can see, it's kind of the same colour as the Chitauri. If you know, the Chitauri tend to be gold, purple, and grey. But I do really like the attention to detail. As you can see here, this is kind of speckled, and he does have a nice belt. And even on the back, he has some pretty cool sort of design. You can see the little Hydra symbol there. It's okay, it's nothing special. Now, if we do take his hairpiece off, which is just a bog standard hairpiece, it really is nothing special. You can see that on the back he has some design on his head as well, but it's not an alternate face, or at least I don't think it's meant to be anyway. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use that as his front face. But his front face is pretty normal, nothing too special. And as far as the legs go, they're just bog standard legs. But yeah, all in all, not a terrible minifigure. I think more of a necessary minifigure for this LEGO set. Alright then, guys, well, moving on to the next minifigure, the penultimate minifigure, we have THOR. Now, while some of you may be looking at this THOR and thinking, oh, that's pretty nice, that's pretty cool, it's far too similar to the THOR we got in LEGO Avengers, just standard LEGO Avengers, not Age of Ultron. Now, I know for sure that the arm pieces were changed. The arms are now sort of metallic dark grey, whereas before they were just bog standard light grey. So they have changed that from the Avengers minifigure. However, I do believe the torso is pretty much the same. I'm not sure if it's exactly identical, but it's pretty much the same as the torso you can see here. So on that front, I am a bit disappointed with this minifigure. However, I got this THOR minifigure first, so obviously I've got nostalgia goggles for it a little bit. Now, as you can see here, we have his angry face there, and his more sort of smiley, normal THOR face that we're all used to there. And like I said, even though the torso printing is pretty much the same. Oh, I broke my stand there, blimmin' heck. Although the torso is pretty much the same, or the same, it is still pretty much a nice torso, so I can't complain there. And again, back torso printing, very good, in fact very detailed, as you can see there. So yeah, on a whole, a very nice minifigure. Bog standard legs, unfortunately, no leg printing, but can't complain too much, as I suppose it's a Thor minifigure, and although you do get 2 of him in the Age of Ultron line of sets, unfortunately, it is the exact same minifigure. So yeah, not too bad, but not great either. Alright then guys, on to the final, and definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, the best minifigure from this set. Now this is Hawkeye. Now, he does wear some sort of clothes like that in the Avengers, but I'm not entirely sure it's the most accurate minifigure. However, it is a very, very cool minifigure. I absolutely love it. And can you check that out? Not the most seamless, unfortunately. This seems to be quite off-center. However, leg printing in a £20 set, you cannot complain at that. So already this minifigure has gone up, in my opinion, I won't lie to you. Now if you remove his hairpiece, it is a pretty cool hairpiece for once, then you can see he does have a dual molded face, but this is much better. I much prefer this, although not the most accurate. I do like the new use of hair, as the old Hawkeye's hair was not accurate at all, whereas this pretty much is very accurate to Hawkeye. Now, whilst he doesn't have the most detailing on the back, you cannot deny the front looks really cool. And yeah, on a whole, this is the best minifigure in my opinion, and I just really like this minifigure. So yeah, for me, the best one in the set. Alright then guys, well that was a closer look at the minifigures. However, there wasn't that many of them, but for a £20 set, you really can't complain. Now we're going to get on to the builds, and we're going to start with the Hydra Henchmen. We're going to start with his car. Let's go! So then guys, as you can see here, we do have the Hydra Henchmen's car. Now, straight away, I actually really like the way it looks. It looks kind of like a dune buggy, or a souped up dune buggy. And yeah, for me, I just think it is really cool looking. However, it does have a lot of flaws, and I'm going to get onto them right now. So flaw number 1 is these things. Now, whilst they are there for aesthetic purposes, and they do sort of actually look really cool, the problem is they break off like you would not believe. You put this anywhere, you drop it, you will lose those. And that is, of course, very annoying. Now, we will get onto the design here. Now, you can see this is a stud shooter, but this has annoyed me from the moment I got this set. So whenever that was, 2014, 2015, whenever this came out, yeah, I was furious with this, right? So this thing comes off completely. It just sort of slots in there, not secure. And this is all you get to hold it in place. Now, you can imagine how often this thing falls out. And it has annoyed me, like I said, for years. So yeah, definitely points off for that, because it's so annoying. Now, it is a stud shooter, but it's just unnecessary in my opinion. Like, you could have fitted one there that didn't come off. I suppose it's meant to be so for playability, but for me, that's not a play feature. That's just annoying. However, what else can you say about a car? It is just for driving and playing with, sort of driving around, and it does that very well. However, this thing is so flimsy, and for some reason, it only goes that high, but it will go that low. It's very, very strange, and of course, you can get one minifigure in there. I'm not going to demonstrate it. You know you can. So yeah, on a whole, I like the way it looks aesthetically, but in general, it is far, far too breakable and flimsy. And maybe it was designed that way, but for me, that's not good enough. So yeah, rather annoying. So then guys, here is the other vehicle that comes in the set. This is the Avengers Jeep. Again, like you see at the beginning of the movie. Now, in terms of this one's aesthetic, it's nowhere near as good as the Hydra sort of dune buggy, if you like. Because this is pretty much every single 4x4 vehicle ever produced by Lego. Pretty much it is, with a few new fandangled bits. It's just a bog standard 4x4, so it doesn't look as good as the other one. However, this is much more structurally sturdy, it doesn't break often, it's bigger. I actually prefer this vehicle, not in terms of the way it looks, but in terms of functionality and playability, this is far better. Now maybe, again, it was designed like that, so the good guys have the better vehicle, but you know, I'd like some sort of balance, really. But you know, it is what it is. However, you can see here you do get flick shooters on the top, and that is pretty cool. And obviously there's a gap here for, I'm assuming, them to stand up while they're driving. Is that a thing? Let's have a look. Can we get him in there? We can. I can just feel his accessory stopping me pretty much. There we go. So he can stand in there, as you can see. And I don't know if that's meant to be like... It just doesn't seem very necessary to me. I'm going to be honest, it really doesn't. And yeah, just a bit weird having a big hole in the ceiling. But you know, it is what it is. However, I can't really tell you anything else about this vehicle because that's all it is. It has stud shooters. You can stand one minifigure up in it. You can sit one minifigure in it. And you've got a clip here to clip Hawkeye's bow on. That is it. Now, having said what I've said about this Lego set, you do have to take into account the fact that it is only a £20 set, so you can't expect too much. Alright then guys, well that was a closer look at this Lego Marvel set. We are now going to get into my outro, where I'm going to give it a rating out of 10 and let you guys know my pros and cons about this Lego set. So, let's go! Alright then guys, well there you have it. That was my closer look and review of this Lego Marvel set. We're now going to get into my pros and cons, and I think we're going to start with the cons. So guys, the first con I want to talk about, I think you know what I'm going to say. It is, of course, the Hydra Henchmen's Dune buggy. Whilst aesthetically nice, it's just too flimsy for my liking. So yeah, a real letdown on that front. So the next con is something that's actually quite a problem with this Lego set, to be honest. Apart from the fact that these two builds are cars, and you can use them as cars, and of course one has a stud shooter and one has a flick shooter, there really is not a lot of playability when it comes to this Lego set. Which is actually a really, really big letdown when you think about it. For a £20 set, you want to get bang from your buck. And unfortunately, I just don't think this is it. And I do not think that there's much playability here at all. So guys, my third and final con is the minifigures. Well, more specifically, two of the minifigures, to be honest. Thor is way too similar to the Thor we got from the Avengers set. And the Hydra Henchman, whilst a necessary minifigure, is also kind of a nothing minifigure. Like, no one's going to care if you've got this minifigure. So yeah, for me, that's a big letdown. However, speaking about minifigures, that leads me nicely onto my first pro, which is, of course, the Hawkeye minifigure. I think this Hawkeye minifigure is definitely the best version of Hawkeye I own. But it might not be the best one ever released, but for me, it's definitely the best Hawkeye I own. Okay then guys, so my second pro is definitely how the set looks. Now, whilst I've spoken about the playability and the functionality, it's not great. It doesn't look bad. It's not a bad looking set. Now, on to my third and final pro. There isn't one, if I'm being honest with you, which is actually going to segue into my rating out of 10, which is actually going to be, to be honest, I think I'm going to have to give this Lego set a 4 out of 10, which may be the lowest score we've ever given a Lego set, a Lego Marvel set on the channel. Now, let me explain my thinking behind it. This is what I call a nothing Lego set. There's nothing here, apart from Hawkeye, which is basically where all of the marks from 4 out of 10 come, and the aesthetics of the build. There's nothing impressive here. All of the tiles you see that you think are printed are not. They're all stickers. Thor, you get him in the Avengers Tower from the Age of Ultron line, and to be honest, that's way better than this set. The Hydra Henchman is a nothing minifigure, and yes, okay, Hawkeye's pretty cool, but I don't even think Hawkeye would cost you more than £8 in the UK, which, yeah, you could say is expensive for a minifigure, but it's not really in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, for me, this really is a nothing set, actually. So yeah, a 4 out of 10. Alright then guys, well there you have it. That is the end of the review, and I suppose the end of the video. We're getting to that point anyway. Guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think about this Lego set, because seriously, I think it's a nothing set. Let me know if you've got this set. Also, let me know what you think of it, even if you haven't got it, because I can't see any value in this, apart from Hawkeye, but not one minifigure can make a whole set. So guys, definitely get down in the comments and let me know your thoughts and opinions. Also guys, if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting and subscribing, that would be really appreciated. I want to give a big shout out to all of you that continue to support the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. And if you're still watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, maybe think about clicking that button in the bottom right hand corner and subbing to the channel. Also, just quickly before we do end the video, if you wouldn't mind checking out my Instagram and TikTok, they will be linked in the description down below. So then guys, there you have it. That is the end of the video, and yeah, all that's left to say is thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!